but it is the big story today. A special official memorial service for AmaZulu King Goodwill Zwelithini will get underway this morning at the Khethomthandayo Royal Palace in KwaNongoma. Our reporter, Karinda Jagmohan, is also in the area as we track the story for you from all angles. In fact, she joins us now from the gates of the palace. And Karinda, important questions being asked this morning about how you pay tribute to the late King Goodwill Zwelithini in a fitting way in the midst of a global health pandemic. What are you seeing there at the gates of the palace in terms of preparations in the midst of COVID-19?
Absolutely. Well, despite the COVID-19 pandemic gripping the entire nation at this point, the nation is also in mourning as the Zulu King has been interred last night. It's been a cloudy, foggy morning in KwaNongoma. In fact, yesterday afternoon it began raining, and this rain fell throughout the night as the king was being planted. But outside the palace gates, you can see people who came here to actually witness the king being planted, as well as members of the royal family, have been up the entire night. They've been awake, of course, at this point, and now warming up by the fire, speaking as well about the day to come. Some other members as well sleeping overnight in tents. These are regiments, these are maidens that were here as well. We saw them yesterday actually in the procession where the remains were being brought to the palace, and they were, of course, singing songs praising the king. And right now, I can tell you, outside the palace grounds, people are still walking in, and you can have a look. Security, presidential security, has been scrolling across the place. They have been here from early this morning, of course, securing the area, because today this memorial service is going to see the president deliver the eulogy, as well as the Anglican Archbishop Thabo Makgoba actually preside over the church service. So you can come with me and you can actually see some of the maidens arriving here. Now, there is, of course, a concern with regards to COVID-19, because the guest list with regards to this memorial service must be at around 100 according to the COVID-19 regulations. But still, that's not stopped people from actually coming to the palace themselves to pay tribute, and like you said, an important time to pay tribute to the king. So of course they're coming here, and you can see, of course, at this point, praising the AmaZulu King. Now, the church service is expected to start around 10 o'clock. Right now, preparations are just underway to secure this area. You actually can't drive up to the palace without accreditation to be here. And this is, of course, part of security protocol ahead of that memorial service today.
It's just coming up for 20 past 6 this morning. Take us through the timeline of how the memorial service will be held throughout the day from this morning.
At this point, we understand, and while I take you through this, you can actually see the maidens as they walk through the palace, of course, an important time for them. The memorial service is expected to start at around 10 o'clock. We do expect about a 2-hour church service followed by several speeches. This will be, of course, senior members of the royal family, as well as various delegates from the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government. At this stage, the guest speakers or the list of speakers has not yet been confirmed or sent out to us at this point, but we do know that the president will be delivering that eulogy, and in that, of course, we expect to hear about the lengths that the king has went to in the past. You must remember that he ascended to the throne in the height of apartheid, and that time his mandate was, of course, to continue uniting the Zulu nation, but also ensure that he could fight against the colonialist forces at that time. And throughout the past almost 50 years of his rule, reviving the Zulu culture, and this is not only just, of course, the Mkosi Mumhlanga, but also other cultural events in the Zulu culture that he revived. Many events he hosted here in KwaNongoma, and the maidens, you see, were part of that, because for them it wasn't only just an event at the palace, but of course learning about their own culture. And these are some of the aspects and the strengths of the king over his around 50-year rule over the throne. It's unclear at this point whether there'll be any mention made about who will be the next successor in terms of becoming the next Zulu monarch. It's unclear whether that will be announced today today, or whether the family has actually made a decision on that. But this is what we can really expect today, is really just speaking about the life of the king and possibly as well the future of the Zulu monarch.